And I just read a story where Aaron Rodgers is building a house there, and my takeaway was, well, that's interesting. It's good for taxes. He's a California guy. He knows about those taxes. And the Titans they got a really good coach, and that's kind of a loopy, weird division. I mean, I'm kind of connecting. It's also the AFC if the Packers had a trade partner. What did you make when you heard that story?
You know what? I've known that he actually was moving here for a while. There's a neighborhood nearby, and people like, Aaron Rodgers moving here, but so was Randall Cobb. So I don't know if they're a package deal like I told you before or not. Like, I don't understand. But it's going to be hard-pressed. When you think about the Tennessee Titans, everybody's talking about that last game, the unfortunate turnovers that Tannehill had. But at the end of the day, look, Tannehill's salary is guaranteed for 2022 at $29 million. And if they cut him before June 1st, that's a 28-point-something million dollar cap hit. So it's going to be hard-pressed. It would be hard to do. It's not something that's out of possibility, but I don't think he's moving here with just the complete intent to play for the Tennessee Titans. Okay. I mean, that's my take on it.
All right. So you played alongside Tom. As we know, you when Tom tore his ACL, you stepped in and went 10-5. And he tore his ACL, if I recall, in the first game of the year, and you took over emergency quarterback. Give me, when I say Tom Brady to you as a teammate, we all know he's a great player. But as a teammate, I see this competitive, fist-pumping, arguing with Josh McDaniel guy. And I also see Belichick as this grumpy guy. But I know Belichick. I know people that know Bill and say he's actually very funny, and he's very pro-player. What is Tom like at practice? You tell me, day-to-day practice, lunchroom, what's that Tom like?
You know what? He's just one of the guys, and a lot of people don't understand that. They see what they see at the press conferences and his professionalism, how he really articulates his answers. But when he's in the locker room, he's this guy, playing his music. He loves his rap music. He loves Jay-Z. In the workout room, he's a constant banter with the guys, talking smack. With me, it was always a consistent competition in terms of how much we could lift, how fast we could run, all that. But as soon as he went on that practice field, that was when you saw the light switch turn on. And there was a tremendous attention to detail. He was meticulous about details, and he held everybody accountable, and he really raised the level of play for everyone around him. And it was this pursuit of excellence on a daily basis. And when he felt like the team was lacking, he was the first guy to step up and be like, hey, guys, we got to pull it together. We got to get this thing going. And he would tell his receivers, hey, I need this type of spacing. And he would detail routes, not just before practice, after practice. He was just an incredible guy, but he also was caring, and he knew how to be a leader with his group of men. And he didn't treat everybody the same because he knew that everybody responded differently to how he led. So he'd treat Randy differently than he would Wes Welker. Well, he could yell at Wes Welker, and Wes Welker would run out like a Labrador puppy and do whatever he said. Where Moss, he had the utmost of respect for him and knew if he just had a conversation at his locker, Randy was going to respond to that much better than if you're going to yell at him out on the field in front of everybody else.
You know this well because you played for 7 different teams, including the Lions, that sports isn't fair. Derek Carr just got his 6th head coach in 9 years. He's had 2 interim coaches. And I've said before, if you gave Derek Carr the stability and continuity, of Belichick or Seattle Pete Carroll, my takeaway is Derek Carr would have a Super Bowl. There'd be somewhere in there because I think Derek's a really, really special player. But he has not gotten a fair shake on continuity. So I think Josh McDaniels for 4 or 5 years is great for him, and I think they'll win a lot of games. But when Matt Stafford, because you played for the Lions, and I want you to take your time on this because Stafford, I said, when he went from Detroit to Los Angeles, I said, it's not just the roster. It's the culture. It's a winning people can't wait to get to work. You were with 7 teams. You can name names. You don't have to. But give our audience a sense that all locker rooms are not equal. All facilities are not equal. All environments are not equal. And that's why I root for guys like Matt Stafford and Derek Carr, because they weren't given a fair shake initially.
Right. And you talk about that. And once I left New England, I think for the rest of my career, I had a different coordinator every single year. And that's very difficult. And like you just said, every environment, every culture is different, especially when you're bringing in new coaches. They're trying to put their imprint and make everybody understand and buy into their methodology and everything else going on. It's difficult to get buy-in, but particularly for Matt Stafford. I was in Detroit, and I was there when Matt Patricia took over. And again, they're starting over year in, year out. They're starting over. And there's also this constant pressure that's always on him, and it's highlighted every week in and week out. And then the fans know it, and they're just waiting for the other shoe to fall because they know that they don't have an organization that's used to winning, and they're just waiting to, somehow lose. It's a tough environment to go into, but he gets a fresh start, which is incredible. I was so happy for him to be able to go to the Rams, have Sean McVay, and be able to go out there and play with a consistent vision, a consistent voice, guys that surrounded him, and allow his talents to take over, because he's one of the most talented quarterbacks I've ever been around. Arm talent-wise, there's nobody better than him. And then it's just about getting into the system and letting him go out and play. And you've seen it throughout the course of these playoffs. I've been just thrilled just seeing him play and having fun and the smile on his face. I mean, he's the ultimate competitor. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, you played with Romo and Brady and Carson Palmer. You played with Matt Stafford. Marcus Mariota. So you've been around a lot of guys. We got ourselves a Super Bowl that is, the Bengals barely outgained their opponents this year by 80 yards. They lost to 5 non-playoff teams. The Rams only lost to playoff teams, almost outgained their opponents by, 900 yards. So I do think the Rams are a better team. When you have 2 weeks to prepare for a Super Bowl, it's a whole different ball game. Can you over-prepare, under-prepare? Take me back to your New England experiences. Those 2 weeks, there's the bye week. There's nothing like it. Even a bye week as a playoff team. The media is massive. The ask, half the time you're at home, half the time you go to the Super Bowl. Right. Take me to your experience of Super Bowl, the 2-week period.
Yeah, the 2-week period is a crazy time period because you have so much time to get ready for one opponent. And you treat that first week as you're going to get some real practice sessions in. It's not like a normal bye week. Look, you use usually that Monday, Tuesday, get yourself healthier. But by Wednesday, you're going through. Wednesday, Thursday is normal practices, even a Friday practice. And then you'll probably take some time off on the weekend. But there's so much going on in terms of distractions, media obligations. It's a big game, but you want to get a really good head start on, first and second down install, third down. You've got about 75% of that game plan in that first week. And then you're tweaking, you're making adjustments going in to when you travel out to wherever you're going. And in the Rams case, they're at home, which is an advantage to me because there's less distractions. You can sleep at home. You're at your own facility, all those things. But when you travel and go, now you've got the media day and there's all this other stuff. And you really have to focus in on the task at hand. And then the week leading up to the Super Bowl, it just builds. The momentum builds, the energy builds, the excitement builds. And then all of a sudden Sunday comes. And for somebody that never experienced it until I got to that first Super Bowl with the New England Patriots when we played the Giants, it's out of this world. The magnitude of it, the experience, the fans, and you just know that you're going to play in a game that ultimately will go down in history as you're either going to be a Super Bowl winner or you're just one of the other 31 teams that, again, didn't accomplish what you set out to do.
Matt Cassel, living in Nashville, maybe neighbors with Aaron Rodgers soon. Matt, as always, good to see you, my man. I appreciate it.
Oh, always a pleasure. Have a great one.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.